Our goal at Lucy's Circle is to provide the best experience possible for parents to be able to find daycares for their new kids. Making a daycare decision is tough. It's very hard to find daycares that are available. Typically, you have to make a lot of phone calls, you have to send a lot of emails, and you have to scour around and ask a lot of friends. At Lucy's Circle, we try to simplify all that through a request and matching process. We have two main apps. We have an app called Spark for parents, and we have a separate app called Portal for daycares. Here I am in the search page. The way it works is that each one of these daycares have created a profile and they provided their programs and availability. The daycare profile that they create typically includes languages, programs, age groups, and a location. And based on all this information, we can actually derive a pretty good match both for parents and for the daycares to be able to find each other faster. So here's how it works on the portal side for parents. I'm going to show you an existing one, and then we're going to be creating a second one together. You can see here I have the profile and account for Emma Wilson. If I go into the settings and I go into members, you see this circle specifically has two members. It is the account for Emma, which is the owner of the circle and the one who's paying for the account, and it also has Emma's husband, who's James Wilson. James Wilson joined the circle after Emma sent him an invite. So now both accounts are collaborating on the circle together. You see right now, if we go to the Family tab, we have a parent profile for Emma, and then we have one for her daughter Olivia. We still don't have one for James because James's profile hasn't been created yet. If we go back to the circle and then click on this opening, you see that here we have a daycare request for Olivia. We're looking for a daycare for Olivia, who's approximately 2 years old, and Emma specifically looking for a daycare starting on May 2026. Emma also has provided a locational preference for where she wants this daycare to be around, and a schedule preference for the type of daycare that she's looking for. This daycare is full-time, it's on weekdays, and it has any drop-off and pickup time. This daycare should also be in English, and this request is currently open. Once you create a request, you'll get two things. You'll get a suggestion of daycares that are around you, and these daycares around you basically match the parameters that you've set. If you set a location, you set a language, and you set other things, these daycares will match the parameters that you have. You can click into each one of these and get the full profile. At any point, you could expand it. And if you go to the profile page, you'll have the ability to follow any alerts that they have. You'll be able to add it to a list, and you'll also be able to send this daycare a message. Emma has already sent this daycare a message, so I'm going to show you what happens when you click here. You see Emma has already started a conversation with this daycare. It seems like this daycare actually sent the first message. So what likely happened is that when Emma created this daycare request, her request for a daycare actually became a match for a daycare as well. So we sent a notification for the daycare saying that Emma's looking for a spot and that she would be a good match, and then the daycare actually initiated the conversation. You see the daycare commented, "Hello, we saw your daycare request and think that one of our openings may be a good fit. Would you like to chat?" And Emma replied, "Yes, let's chat." And you can continue the conversation here, or you can take it to another platform if you feel more comfortable doing it over there. Going back to the daycares around you, you can continue your search here, and you have all the list functionality, so you can transfer all these daycares specifically to one or many lists, and you can add notes to them as well. This is probably the best feature out of everything. We have the ability to get matches. I'm going to click collapse for now to make them smaller. But you see right here, specifically for Emma's request for Olivia, there are 3 daycares that are a good match for her. We have the Little Acorn one in downtown Vancouver, which is only 50 meters from where she lives. We have this one a little farther away, which is 11 kilometers away, but still within distance of the 15-kilometer radius that Emma set, which is located in Burnaby. And then we also have this third one that's located in North Vancouver. For each one of these, we see how well of a match it is. For example, this first one has a match of 89%. Within it, there's actually 3 specific matches, and there's 2 programs. So I can click expand, and I can see all of the different openings from this daycare. It seems like this daycare is offering tours starting back in April, and there's 2 open spots for a program for infants, and there's also 7 spots for preschoolers. In any of these, I can click the button right here to view the opening, and I get all the information about this specific opening. And if I wanted to learn more information, again, all you have to do is click the profile, and then you can send them a message or see their preference for what is the best way for contacting them. We're now going to be creating a request together just to show you how you do it. So suppose Emma has a second child. We're going to click Find Openings, create a new request, get started. And who's setting this up? This time it's not just Emma. It's Emma and her husband. And this is for her son. We're going to continue. And it's going to ask us who the parents are who are applying. So this is Emma. We select our existing profile. And then it's going to ask us about our partner. Luckily, James is already a member, so I can just click this button and get the information filled in. We can specify that James is the dad. And we can also add an email and phone number if we want to provide any additional information for how the daycare can contact us. For now, that's good enough. I'm going to click Continue. And then who needs this daycare? Well, Olivia already has an existing request, so we need to create a new child. This one will be for Ethan. And we enter Ethan's date of birth. Now the date of birth will remain private to you, but what it does is it will calculate into an approximate age. So for example, Ethan will be about 3 years old. And based on Ethan's age, and based on Ethan's approximate age, we'll show you matches for daycares that have programs at this age group. Click Continue. And where are we searching around? Well, it's going to be the same home address, but if you have a separate address where you would prefer to search, you can click New Location and you can add a separate address. In this case, we're going to just select the existing one, click Confirm, and we create the request. And now we just open it up. So you see that now, if I were to go back to all the requests, now we have 2 requests. We have one for Olivia, which has been published, and we have Ethan's one, which is in draft mode. Before we click into the one for Ethan, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go back to my circle. And you see within the circle, if I scroll down and I look at my family, automatically we have a profile now created for James and another one for Ethan. If I click into the family, what I can do is I can add an icon if I want for specific profiles. This is just for you, so it just depends on how much customization you want to add to your experience. For the purposes of this demo, just to show you the full customization, I'm going to drag and drop an image. And we're going to be adding a photo for Ethan. So now you see in my family, we have a photo for Emma, we have a photo for Ethan, and Olivia. We can do exactly the same thing for James. Click Set Icon. And if we actually don't want to add a custom icon, all we would have to do is click the Lucy icons, and we can change James's icon to any of the existing ones. I could set the frog, for example, click Save, and now we have James as a frog, or we can change it to a giraffe. But in this case, I actually want to add a real icon for James. So I'm going to drag and drop a separate photo to upload it, and then just select it right there. I can go back to my circle, and you see here we have the home of the circle. We have 2 opening requests, one for Olivia and one for Ethan. We have our lists, and we have our family profiles. In the daycare request, let's finish the one that we started for Ethan. So here we have the request that we created for Ethan. As you can see, it's filled in the child. It still doesn't have a start date or any extra information, but it has the location, and it's still missing the schedule and language and amenities preferences. We could attempt to publish the request, but it's showing us that we're missing some information. So what we should do is finish that off, and it's super simple to do that. All you have to do is click Quick Setup, and all we have to do is go through a very quick setup once we're within the request. Click Get Started. It tells us what we filled in so far, which is the child and location. And now it's asking us when is the ideal start date. So the expected start date that I want for Ethan is actually starting in September, and I want the latest one to be around October 31st. So we leave a bit of a gap for when we're looking for the daycare. We're looking for something that's full-time since we work Monday to Friday. And we can also provide a drop-off and pickup time. This is completely optional, so it's up to you how much customization you want to add. In this case, for earliest drop-off, since I work early in the morning, I want to add drop-off at 8:30 a.m. And for pickup, I don't really have a preference, so we're going to leave it empty. Now here's where we get to the important things. What languages are we looking for this daycare to provide? So I can click Choose Languages, and I want this daycare to actually be bilingual. I want it to be in English, and I want it to be in French. but English is actually the only required language that I want. French would not be required for me, and it would just be a nice have, so I'll leave it as preferred rather than required. I click continue, and it asks us if we have any additional support needs that we have. Any allergy accommodation, accessibility, inclusion, medication, and toilet training. Once that's done, I can click confirm, save, and the daycare request has been fully filled out for me. There's two final little things that you can add just to make your request a little bit better. If you scroll down to the bottom, you see amenities has not been included in the quick setup, although you can click edit preferences, select amenities, and then you can add additional amenities to find daycares that have very specific needs. For example, if we scroll down, we could be looking for daycares that have a music room. Maybe we're looking for daycares that also have a nut-free facility, and so on. I think I'll leave those two there, so I'll click done. I'll click save. And now we've added two amenities in addition to the languages when it comes to preferences. You see the schedule's now complete, location's now complete, and all we're missing is this introduce your family. Now recall when we show matches to you, we're going to show you matches for daycares, but daycares are also going to get matches based on parent requests. So when a daycare is going to see your request, it's a nice add to be able to add a small introductory message about who you are and who your family is. This allows them to measure the level of interest that you have and the preparation for whether you're ready to proceed, or if you're just in the discovery stage starting your daycare search. In this case, we have two options. We can click the edit settings and we could add whatever we want right here into this text field. Or the other thing that we could do is click this button right here that says generate introduction. It's going to ask us a few questions, and then based on the information that our profile has, based on our account information and who we are, in addition to the questions that we're answering, it's going to generate an intro message for us. So let's try this out. I want this to be in a friendly tone. I want my daycare to be focused on play and learning, to be a flexible fit, and have inclusive support. Currently, I'm in the ready soon stage, so I'm looking for a daycare starting very soon. And as for next steps, I would prefer to start a conversation so I could learn more about them. Once we filled in all the questions, I can click generate. And you see it's generated an intro for us. Let's read a little bit about what it says. It says we're a family of two parents looking for full-time daycare starting September 2026 with some flexibility into early October. We need a program that operates Monday to Friday with an 8:30 a.m. or earlier drop-off time. So it specifies a lot of the things that we added to the profile into one simple message that the daycare can read. I can click add to introduction, click save, and there you go. It's ready to go. So now we're ready to publish. You see that we have this publish now button. So all I have to do is click this, publish the request, and it's that easy. One thing that you notice right away is as soon as I publish, we immediately get some matches based on the daycares that have current openings. So you see on the header, now it says I have 10 new matches. What I could do next is I could go to the daycares near me, and I could see the daycares that are closest to me, again based on my location and the languages that I've set up. The cool thing as well is I can click this button right here to open the full search and do that search with the filters that I've set up, including the languages. So I don't have to do that search separately. I could look at the map and I could be looking at the daycares that are best matched to me. If we go back here, the real magic is the matches. So you see here, we have all the matches that are good for my child. We have this first daycare right here with an 84% top score. And again, we can see that there's a tour that we can explore. And there's also 2 spots in this infants program, and there's 7 spots in this preschoolers program. As more daycares join the platform, the matches will become better and better for both sides. And we've shown you already at the beginning of the video how you can message them directly, how you can view their profile, how you can then open up the full profile, and you can use the contact card information or the Lucy messaging system to take the next steps. That basically covers everything related to requests. It's so simple, and it's intended to make it as customizable as possible for you to find the daycares that best match your needs for your kids. To close this video off, you see that if I go back to my circle, I have the 2 openings that are currently open. It shows me the number of matches for each one. I see all my lists, and my family circle has been fully filled out. If you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and thanks so much for watching.